So this is how you can instantly double your sales for your e-commerce store. I want to talk through something that's extremely simple and probably a little bit obvious, to be honest with you, but I want to give you the confidence so that you can execute it the way that you should. And this is how I advise my clients in my paid programs, the Ecom Blueprint Up Level Mastermind, where we help ecom brands scale, basically. Okay. And this is off the back of 13 years experience co-founding my own e-commerce business as well with my brother. And that business now does multiple 7 figures per year. So what I'm talking about is essentially what I coin be involved. Now, what that basically means is throughout the year, we have periods of time where we have the opportunity to be involved in particular sales periods. All right. I'll talk about the two different types that we can look at. One is obvious, one is not obvious. Okay. The first thing is the obvious ones. Now, when it comes to things like, Black Friday, Christmas, end of financial year, there's Amazon days or Prime days. There's Afterpay days. There's all sorts of days that we can be involved. And if we are not, then we miss out on sales. It's that simple. Okay. These periods of time of being involved is literally we have to be there with our hand out, presenting it, an offer, and we will make money. It's the difference night and day. So I talk about this. We have a lot of clients come in, towards the end of the year to our program, and it's in the lead up to Black Friday. And most of these people have either never been involved in a Black Friday campaign or they've done something completely half-assed. And what that means is, I sent an email once and it didn't really do much. I got a couple of sales come through and that was pretty good. Whereas we teach a completely new way of thinking. It's like there's being involved and then there's being involved. And so as business owners, we are there to make sales. We are there to make money. And we must then be involved at every opportunity that we possibly can that is on the calendar, let's call it, of customers, of consumers, of people with money that are willing to part with it. And if you're involved, if you're there, then they will buy with you. It's really as simple as that. So whether you are pro sales in terms of like sales and offers and discounts or not, because some people have this weird moral thing about discounting and whatnot and conditioning customers that does not play into your hands. Trust me, because I've been there. You have to be involved. You have to have an offer. Even if it's the same offer that you run every single day of the year on your site, whether it's a bundle or something that's actually discounted good value for customers, be involved. So with the formal, this is the first thing, with the formal periods of time of being involved, as I say, the really common ones, Black Friday, Afterpay Day, end of financial year. The best thing about that is it's branding in and of itself. And so if you say, as Karmic, the cold press juice company I co-founded, if that business is doing Black Friday, what happens in a customer's mind is, I like that brand, Black Friday, okay, sales discount offer, got to buy, right? So the actual campaign, the period of time, does the marketing for you. This is the really cool thing about being involved. You just have to brand it exactly to the event and have the same offer or even a better offer, of course, and people will buy. Whereas if you don't do that, if you're just going through Black Friday and you've got nothing there, you're not promoting anything, people are not going to even notice you and not be interested, and you're not going to make any sales. Okay, so that's how it works. The branding in and of itself creates best deal of the year, offer, what you got to buy now, urgency, scarcity, etc. All the fundamentals to making more sales. So that's the first circumstance. Be involved in things that have their own branding or pivotal events. Let's call it your customers understand. Part B to that is be involved in things that you create momentum for or create offers for. And I call this just fabrication, honestly, because if you map out your entire year, which you all should, okay, you'll be able to see the branded, let's call it pivotal events throughout the year. And they might be, honestly, you could probably get 6 or so, like maybe more, but that's at least, one every second month, which is pretty good. You've got excuses to create offers and sales and events around campaigns around 6 times the year that people understand. On the off months, right, the other 6 times the year, and this could be as many as you really need to fabricate events to be involved with. Okay. It could be your birthday sale. It could be honestly your personal birthday. It could be you had your wisdom teeth taken out. It could be, that your son graduated college, like whatever it actually might be, you fabricate an excuse to create an offer, right? So you brand it yourself. Now, this isn't going to be, as I say, as well recognized as like sales periods that are, branded per se, but it's an excuse to go and do so because they don't really care about the event. They care about the offer that they're going to be presented. So for example, you could do the same Black Friday offer, right? Our branded, and do a, second, third birthday or something like that for your brand. They don't know when you created your brand and product. They don't honestly care, but you could have the same offer and it's branded completely differently. And so you will make sales there. You will double your monthly sales for that particular month. Let's call it year on year. Okay. Say for example, it's March, and March last year you did 5K in sales and didn't run anything. Okay. You were just ticking away, maybe running some ads, maybe sending some random emails and whatnot. And then this March, you create an offer. It's our third birthday. We're giving 30% off for 3 days only on our best sellers, and actually market that, then bang, you will double your sales, right? Now, obviously it's a sliding scale with how much you'll increase, but you'll do a hell of a lot better than you did last year by doing nothing. And so this is what I'm talking about with the fabrication. In those off months of non-branded that you should be involved with, be involved, you must fabricate ones to be involved with. As I say, you can just honestly chat GPT, you get 100 ideas of things that are relevant to your brand. You can do things that are relevant to your, as I say, brand, but particularly your niche. You know, you could do World Health Day, World Women's Day, whatever you want to be involved in it and just basically fabricate, you can do that. And it actually will, again, some will have some half branding that will come along as well, such as, you know, women's or health or something like that I just mentioned. But the point is that we must be involved as often as possible. Use excuses to create offers as often as possible. You are a naive business owner if you think that you can sell by having everything full price all the time. Of course, brands do. You will know brands that do. But you shouldn't be following them if you're doing less than $10,000 per month, right? And they're doing millions per month. That's not the sequence of events. And I'll use Karmic as an example here. So right in the beginning, the business could not make many sales, right? We were just pounding the pavement, calling people, texting people, doing bulk deals, whatever we honestly could to scrap through some sales, but we weren't growing at the rate that we wanted to. We then, when we were able to build up a bit of a database of, you know, customers and people that, you know, wanted some free guides and things like that, we're able to build a bit of a database, and we started to market offers. Okay, it might be 15% off, it might be 20% off, and people started to buy it, right? So our customers built, our sales revenue obviously built, okay? And then we kind of got a bit self-conscious of like, oh, we don't want to be known, or we don't want to condition people for discounts and sales, which you may have thought about or maybe thinking about right now. And so we stopped doing it. And what happened? Our sales went down again, right? It wasn't that exciting. There's nothing to talk about. And what we basically realized was we need to get to a certain level of customers in terms of people who have bought from us before to then start to remove certain offers and make certain changes and recondition people. But if you're not making enough sales right now, you need to actually, by any means necessary, get people in the gate to try your product. Because then, especially if it's a repeat buyer, such as cold pressed juice, you know, cleansing programs, then there's opportunity to create lifetime value there on full price. And so what happens was when we slowed down sales for those, you know, few months, we went back to a process of fabricating offers to present to our audience. And what happened? Bang, 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 bang. It went higher than what it did before. Okay, then we got some consistency through. And then only probably years into it, you know, doing 50 or 100K per month, do you only do sporadic offers. You have other levers. You have brand loyalty. You have a high repeat customer rate. You have people that have spent thousands and tens of thousands of dollars with you sometimes that will buy from you because they've had a great experience. The offer, let's call it, is less important than the quality, the relationship, the customer experience, the expectation setting, all of that sort of thing that people value. But to get them in the door is the most important thing, all right? So coming back to my original point here is you must be involved. This is how you double your sales. And I'm talking about, it can be if you're in the lower echelon, month-on-month growth for sure. But especially if you've been in business for a longer period of time, year-on-year growth, meaning March to March, April to April, etc. That's what we're looking for. This is what you need to do. You need to be involved in the pivotal periods of time that people understand that has its own branding, and then create your own branding for specific events outside of those. So that every single month we have a campaign going. We have an offer going. And again, you can get creative what those offers look like, but typically it's something that's discounted. It's a financial offer to lower the bar to get people over the fence to either repeat buy or buy for the first time. And it works incredibly well. As I say, this will double your year-on-year sales if you do it right. At the very least, you're going to beat, you know, your last year's growth. Okay. So look, I hope this was valuable for you. I hope, you know, gave you some good ideas, a nice reminder that you need to pay attention to these things and just be involved and remove any guilt, because this is what 7-figure brands do. They're involved, right? They're going to hit, they're going to miss, they're going to have everything in between, but they're going to learn and make progress faster than someone that's still on the start line. Okay. I hope this was valuable for you. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. If you want to know more about how we help ecom brands, you can click on the link below. But other than that, thanks for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.